Hello everyone, my name is Berta Pappenheim and I'm the Leadership and Culture Theme Fellow at RISCS since November this year, last year. I'm positively humbled by being part of RISCS and such an incredibly talented team of researchers and industry experts. And just wanted to talk a bit about my background. It's obviously slightly different from all the other fellows. I'm a very commercially focused individual. I've got years of experience working with small businesses and large businesses. I run my own company, the Cyberfish, which is a cyber psychology consultancy and an alumni of the NCSC Cyber Accelerator program. And my background is a mix of organizational psychology and threat intelligence, but very heavily business focused. So that will come across in most of the slides that I will present to you today. And again, I think this research theme would be counted as probably a bit less mature at this stage because the work has only started in November. So we're not in the phase where I can talk too much about actual findings of the research. But I'll probably, if we could go to the next slide, please. I will talk about the theme overview and what we're focusing on. So obviously, delivering something that can be immediately used by the industry and by the different stakeholders about what's going on at the moment with the world, with all the remote working and the pandemic changes that have put us in a very stressful situation for more than a year now. I wanted to look at how this remote working setup has actually changed not just the technological footprint of every organization, but also, and most importantly, the issue of cybersecurity, of cyber risk. How are the various stakeholders going to take forward the issues interrupting the world as we know it for more than a year now? So the first research objective was to look at how different organizations adjusted to this new remote and hybrid working arrangements set up with a particular focus on the psychological contract between employees and leadership, and with a view to cyber risk and how has it affected the risk exposure, and what strategies, actual practical strategies, have been used to maintain and reduce risk exposure in the middle of entirely technology transformations taking place. And how did cybersecurity leaders encourage employees to keep that positive cybersecurity culture front of mind, whilst adding on lots of priorities on top of their work. We've been homeschooling for a while, and it's just been really stressful. I don't have to explain it to you. I guess it's quite a challenge to build and maintain trust, to keep that team working together and nurturing that belonging, the feeling of belonging, and safeguarding the well-being and mental health of team members. Can I have the next slide, please? To address this issue, it's a very complex issue and in line with the very nature of how RISCS works. I've recruited an interdisciplinary research team. Amy Erton is one of the researchers who's is a pre-doctoral cybersecurity fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School's Belfer Center, and also a visiting researcher at the NATO's Cooperative Cyber Defense Center of Excellence. And she is an information security doctoral candidate at Royal Holloway. Georgia Crossland is a doctoral student at the Center for Doctoral Training in Cybersecurity, Royal Holloway, and her thesis focuses on human factors and the psychology of the user in cybersecurity. And we're supported by Nico B. from the Economy and Society Engagement team at the NCSC. Can I have the next slide, please? The first stage of evidence gathering was an extensive literature review that we've conducted, not only consisting on the recent COVID-related research examples, but even though we've managed to track down probably most of them, but we've also explored other areas that we felt were relevant, such as past pandemics that were more localized and flexible working per se, but not in a mass, but more on a one-on-one basis. How does it affect the psychological contract, leadership, motivation, promotion, talent management, among other things. So if you're interested, this literature review is available on the RISCS website, so welcome to read through it. And the next step, getting on from the literature review, was the expert interviews. The team has spoken to 18 industry CISOs and cyber awareness leaders from the UK, the US, and also a few people from the Nordics, really understanding their perceptions and their best practices used in terms of how they were managing their teams and all the different changes that they were going through. Can I have the next slide, please? So as I was mentioning in the beginning, the research is still in the phase of coding the interviews. So I'm not in the position of sharing any sort of specific insight at the moment, but very, very soon we will be publishing a white paper that will include all these findings that will now emerge this week as we're speaking. We're looking at the coding results, and the team is formulating the first findings of the research. But definitely we've been able to touch on various dimensions of the gathering information stage, and we're really excited about these interviews being so interesting and really rich from the perspective of the content, and also unique to think about how this is all happening now. So every research that will be looking at what happened during the pandemic will have a more of a retrospective view, while we were actually able to interview these decision makers in the middle of how these changes were taking place. Can I have the next slide, please? So the next steps are following on from the findings of the literature review. We're hoping to start a consultation process where we can invite the RISCS community and also a really wide range of audience to help us formulate some action points, maybe some checklists for leaders to really be able to contribute in a way that's actually meaningful and immediately actionable to the wider range of companies, not just the large organizations that we've interviewed, but also hopefully some smaller organizations that may not have as many resources. We're really hoping to work together with the advisory board as well on this. So if there's anything, if there's any ideas or any thoughts that you would like to contribute to this research, we'd be very, very grateful for your inputs. Can I have the next slide, please? So in terms of the findings, there are some of these changes that definitely included. The threat landscape has been completely transformed by this the technology that have been completely massively remote now, and the technical footprint of organizations has changed. Cybersecurity awareness culture and other training practices have changed as well, with the norms of working, including onboarding and offboarding practices, have been had to be transformed completely. So this had obviously an effect on the employment life cycle, market movement, talent distribution, and a negative effect on employee well-being and mental health. So as I was saying, the research is happening as I speak, and the results and insights hopefully can be immediately utilized from the white paper that we'll be distributing. Can I have the next slide, please? So my ask from the board members and the wider RISCS community is to please get involved and help us disseminate our white paper, but also help us form our future research agenda and make sense of the findings and understand how can they best benefit the community and make sure that that we're getting out of this hard situation together. So thank you very much.